So I was sifting through the many titles available on EverDrive when I stumbled upon this, Congo the Game. Wait, as in Congo starring Laura Linney, Ernie Hudson, and Tim Curry? Really? Now I'm well aware of the Saturn game, though I didn't even know a Genesis port existed. Well, it's not a port. No, it's an entirely different game based on the film. And get this, it was never released. Visual Concepts had been working on a game for both Genesis and Super Nintendo, but it was shelved by the publisher when they realized just how shitty it turned out. From what I've read, it makes the Saturn game look like Quake by comparison, which, wow, that's saying something. You know, I can't say I'm surprised. The movie itself is a remarkable work of crap in spite of the talent both behind and in front of the camera. The cheese factor saves it for me, though just barely. Regardless, it sure as shit didn't need a game. I'm sure they were hoping for another Jurassic Park, since Congo's loosely based on Michael Crichton's bestseller of the same name. I'm guessing that explains the toy line. Jesus. When I think of all the great films that never ever received a video game, it pains me to see shit like The Lawnmower Man and Congo make the grade. What the fuck, Hollywood? So I loaded the game and it's a game over screen. Already? It hasn't even started yet. That's a hint and a half for my ass, let me tell you. We get a company logo, then the main menu. Wait, no options? Terrific! There's no introduction, no music, and no sound effects. Once I finished playing, I did some research and found a bunch of screen caps for the Super Nintendo version. There are story sequences with text. It even makes mention of a password system. None of that is shown here. Super Nintendo must have been the lead platform. That or this is an incomplete ROM. In either case, it sucks. You play as Ernie Hudson's character, Monroe Kelly, a great white hunter that happens to be black. Ernie finally leads a game, and it turns out to be a piss-poor cash-in that never saw the light of day. That figures. You're riding a raft up and down turbulent waters, jumping ramps, collecting diamonds while avoiding boulders, spikes, tree limbs, and on occasion, the camera itself. Such a strange glitch. At least, I think it's a glitch. There are instances where it's locked to the raft, backing off when needed, up until it decides to eat me for no reason. Once I had played the same section over and over again, I was able to anticipate and move onward. If this is by design, it may as well be a note from the programmer stating, if you made it this far, you're already dead inside. Sounds about right. I'm sure this doesn't look too hard. Admittedly, you can rip through these stages with a little practice and a whole lot of patience. What makes it difficult is that whenever you hit something hazardous, or it hits you, Monroe takes a dip. It's one-hit kills across the board. At first, I thought it was hilarious. I mean, look at this. I wasn't going very fast, yet Monroe does a fucking somersault. Shame there's no sound effects. I can only imagine the screams. After a while, the novelty wears thin and you just want to see something different. This one stage felt as if it went on for ages. Adding to the length is the distance between checkpoints. You'll have to endure some whack-ass shit before you ever see one. Give me a fucking break. You know what really pisses me off though? This doesn't look all that bad. Seriously, the water has some life to it and the animation on Monroe looks great. Even the checkpoints look as if they're rendered in 3D. If they had fixed the camera and reworked the control, oh god, the control, they're serviceable at best. I feel I'm being generous in saying that. Most of the time it's okay, but when I finally reached the second stage, they got all funky. There were a few occasions where I just spun in circles, narrowly avoiding hippos. I damn near pissed myself here, and why? Because when you lose all your lives, it's game over. Yeah, no continues. When you die, we're back at the beginning. Sinking, spinning. This game drove me bonkers, though I carried on. I wanted to see if there was any more to this than whitewater rafting. My heart sank when I made it to stage 2. More rapids. It's just purple now. That and there's hippos. Great fun. As annoying as the first stage was, this is way worse. Well, perhaps not way worse, but enough to notice. It never ends. Or so I thought. I paused the game long enough to look up codes and found nothing, though I did read about the later levels where you shoot the deadly gorillas. I was like, ooh, cool, I gotta see that. So I pushed on, made it past the hippos, and... Are you fucking kidding me? Now I'm fairly certain this is Karen's cave run from the SNES version, minus Karen. Here you gotta ride this fucking cart like a goddamn skateboard and jump gaps in the path. 2 minutes and several lives later, I'm missing the raft. This angle's too close for comfort, making it almost impossible to react in time. Visually, it's a welcome change, and unlike the rafting bits, I get to use a goddamn button. Yeah, the buttons didn't do jack shit. Couldn't speed up or slow down or jump, God forbid, right? Here, I gotta jump these gaps or I fall to my death. I spent more time on this one level than I care to admit. I would either jump into Satan's warm embrace or simply lose momentum getting myself stuck. You know what that means? Reset. Yes, I tried again and again and again. I wanted to own this bitch like nothing else. For once in my life, I was going to impress Silver Wings 21 for a change. Alas, my will is weak. Congo the game was axed for one good reason. Maybe two. The movie failed to impress moviegoers, and the game sucked more ass than a pool's water inlet port. Unless you're a glutton for punishment or fancy yourself a gaming badass that can beat anything, steer clear of it and consider yourself lucky.